Some of the most beautiful and heartfelt country music tunes are sung by him. With his trademark narrow jeans, cowboy hat, and unstoppable twang, Dwight Yoakam carved out a place for himself in the hearts of millions. Dwight's songs always appeared to make listeners feel understood, as if he knew exactly what they were going through, whether it was a horrible breakup or a lonely nighttime drive. However, admirers everywhere may sense that something has changed recently. Something significant. It is the kind of stuff that leaves you speechless. It's not only about the spotlight or his music. It has to do with personal matters. Is it a loss for you? A health emergency? Behind-the-scenes trouble? Whatever it is, it has cast a dark shadow over a man who used to make so many people happy. Before we reveal what transpired, let's examine the path that led to Dwight Yoakam becoming a legend in the country music industry. Yoakam's Journey by Dwight. On October 23, 1956, Dwight David Yoakam was born in Pikeville, Kentucky. He was born to Ruth and David Yoakam and was the oldest of 3 siblings. His father was serving in the United States at the time. Army. The family moved to Columbus, Ohio, and made Columbus their permanent home after his father's service. Dwight grew up in a close-knit, industrious home with his sister Kimberly and younger brother Ronald. His father operated a Texaco petrol station after working at a Westinghouse plant. The house on the Yoakam property was filled with music. He received a guitar as a gift from his father, which he had obtained during his war service. In 4th grade, Dwight got a new one, even though he broke the first one. He had already begun writing his songs by that point. While traveling, the family would sing along with country music legends like Johnny Cash and Johnny Horton. Dwight was also influenced by rock and roll stars like Elvis Presley that he saw on TV. In 1968, the family moved to a different area of Columbus, and Dwight went to Northland High School. Dwight took drama class and played drums in the school band. He gained confidence from his role in Flowers for Algernon. In his senior year, Dwight created the Greaser Band, a rock group with a few buddies. They gave performances at private parties and school dances, gaining a little following in the area. After high school, Dwight briefly enrolled at Ohio State University, but left to pursue a career in music. He traveled to Nashville in the hopes of becoming a celebrity, despite early setbacks, such as being conned by someone offering him a music deal. However, his bluegrass honky-tonk sound, which was very different from the pop country sound that was popular at the time, caught Nashville off guard. Dwight moved to Los Angeles as a result, taking another chance. In 1982, he got to know guitarist and producer Pete Anderson there. Due to their mutual love of real country music, the two became good friends and started playing at bars in Los Angeles, where the underground cowpunk and alternative country scenes were thriving. Dwight had enough material by 1984 to issue an EP titled Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., in which Anderson played guitar and produced. The EP featured both Dwight's original songs and covers, including Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. He quickly secured a booking as the Blasters' opening act after the EP created a lot of attention on independent radio. Reprise Records signed him to a recording contract as a result of his performance. His record was reissued in 1986 with additional tracks, such as Honky Tonk Man, and it became an enormous hit. The music video even made history by becoming the first to be broadcast on MTV by a country singer. The album earned double platinum and peaked at #1 on the country charts, and that was just the beginning. With the official arrival of Dwight Yoakam, country music will never be the same. Apart from his legendary status in country music, Dwight Yoakam has established a solid reputation in the film and television industries. He had frequent appearances in the CBS police drama P.S. in the early 1990s, which marked the beginning of his film career. I Cherish You. He starred in the 1993 movie Red Rock West shortly after, and in the TV movie Roswell the following year. He played a rancher. However, Dwight was the one who really made an impression in 1996 when he faced the violent Doyle Hargraves in Sling Blade, which was directed by Billy Bob Thornton. His acting career took a significant turn with the part. It was the first time he thought a role he was portraying would be remembered, he has since said. For their efforts, the cast was nominated by the Screen Actors Guild. Yoakam went on to perform in films including The Minus Man, 1999, The Newton Boys, 1998, and the tense thriller Panic Room, 2002. With the Western picture South of Heaven, West of Hell, in which he also acted and wrote the music. He even dabbled in directing and writing. Despite being a commercial disaster, the movie featured songs by celebrities like Billy Gibbons and Mick Jagger. As the years passed, Dwight proceeded to make appearances in television series like Under the Dome and Goliath, as well as fan favorites like Wedding Crashers and Four Christmases, demonstrating that his talent extends far beyond music. Dwight Yoakam has established a solid name in the film and television industries in addition to being a legend in country music. He had frequent appearances in the CBS police drama P.S. in the early 1990s, which marked the beginning of his film career. I Cherish You. In 1993, he made an appearance in the movie Red Rock West, and the following year, he played a rancher in the television picture Roswell. However, Dwight was the one who really made an impression in 1996, playing the violent Doyle Hargraves in Billy Bob Thornton's Sling Blade. His acting career took a significant turn with the part. It was the first time he thought a role he was portraying would be remembered, he has since said. For their efforts, the cast was nominated by the Screen Actors Guild. Yoakam went on to perform in films like The Minus Man, 1999, The Newton Boys, 1998, and the tense thriller Panic Room, 2002. With South of Heaven, West of Hell, a Western movie in which he also acted and wrote the music, he even dabbled in directing and writing. Despite being a commercial disaster, the movie featured songs by celebrities like Billy Gibbons and Mick Jagger. As the years passed, Dwight kept making appearances in television series, including Under the Dome and Goliath, as well as fan favorites like Wedding Crashers and Four Christmases, demonstrating that his talent extends well beyond his personal life and music. Despite being most known for his acting and music careers, Dwight Yoakam's personal life has previously drawn a lot of attention, especially in relation to his romantic relationships. Dwight briefly dated Hollywood actress Sharon Stone in 1992. The two were seen together at the Academy Awards that year. The tabloids were nuts, of course. Fans even conjectured that Stone was the subject of several of the heartfelt songs on his most recent album. However, Dwight quickly put an end to such rumors by claiming that their brief connection lasted only 5 weeks and had nothing to do with his music. A few years later, in 1994, Dwight met MTV host and actress Karen Duffy at a party. Soon after, they started dating, and before calling it quits in 1996, they were together for about 2 years. Then there was Dwight's romantic life, which was largely hidden until 2020. He surprised his admirers by getting married to Emily Joyce at that point. On May 4, 2020, in Santa Monica, California, they exchanged vows. The couple welcomed their first child together on August 16, 2020, just a few months later. A boy baby. For Dwight, being a father in his 60s was a huge and emotional turning point. He had long been well known for putting his everything into his music, but this new experience gave his life a different kind of depth and joy. These peaks show a more vulnerable and compassionate side of the country music legend, even though Dwight Yoakam has typically kept his private life out of the news, one that his admirers value as much as his musical compositions. The woman behind the lens and heart of Dwight Yoakam. Who is Emily Joyce, the wife of Dwight Yoakam? There is plenty to appreciate about her and the charming romance she has with Dwight, despite the fact that she stays mostly out of the spotlight. Emily works as a photographer. She doesn't discuss her career much. However, we do know that she had a Los Angeles picture exhibition in 2016. Over the years, she has also taken some excellent pictures of Dwight. He has enthusiastically shared a number of them on social media. Dwight described her as someone who gladly shares space in his world, and thanked her for bringing love and joy into his life in a charming birthday post from 2019. In 2020, the couple welcomed their first child, a boy called Dalton Lauren. The news was accompanied by some stunning pictures of Dwight and Emily, who were expecting, visiting the hospital. In the article, they even referenced Dwight's song Waterfall. How infants are born, even in the midst of a pandemic. Despite being well known, Dwight has done a great job of keeping his private life secret. He and Emily have, however, made a few appearances together on the red carpet, including at the Grammy Awards and other significant music award events. Fans have occasionally seen the couple together, and their romance started long before they were married in 2020. At the moment, the two live in the Hollywood Hills. Dwight had described his house in 2012 as a Spanish-style house with art all around it, and he had chosen every detail, including the lighting and tiles. He went on to say that Emily was already a part of his life when he recorded his album Pairs there. Emily also helps Dwight on Dwight Yoakam and the Bakersfield Beat, his Sirius SSM radio show. Often in the background, she takes pictures of Dwight and his visitors, including Rita Wilson and Jacob Dylan. Together, Dwight and Emily have created a life that is very meaningful to them both, one that is full of music, art, and quiet love. There is backlash against the pandemic-time wedding. Yes, right in the heart of the lockdowns, Dwight Yoakam secretly wed Emily Joyce in May 2020. Don't assume, however, that this was some kind of ostentatious banner-grabbing event. Despite taking place in the midst of early pandemic concern, the wedding was kept very private, according to Rolling Stone. Days before California lockdowns officially started, in March, Yoakam's team announced on social media and in formal announcements that the event took place in Santa Monica's St. Monica Catholic Church. Less than 10 other people were with them, and they were all wisely situated at least 6 feet apart. The comment made it clear that it was intentional. Love triumphed over social distancing regulations and shutdowns. The attendees, who numbered less than 10, were sitting at least 6 feet apart. Even yet, this little celebration was viewed as contentious. In the early stages of the pandemic, some fans and members of the media questioned if getting married was a smart move, or even advised. However, Yoakam's people fiercely objected, claiming the event was purposefully kept small and adhered to all health standards. Additionally, they noted that the public announcement was postponed out of consideration for medical professionals and other crisis-affected individuals. The couple chose to get married before the pandemic limitations grew too severe after knowing one another for roughly 10 years and working together for a number of years. A few pictures and heartfelt words expressing their happiness and awareness of the difficult period America was going through were used to share the news a few weeks later. Dwight's wedding wasn't particularly scandalous overall. In the midst of chaos, it was a quiet, socially conscious union of love. And to be honest, that's exactly what the majority of his supporters wanted: his fortune. Over the years, Dwight Yoakam has amassed an incredible fortune. Most people estimate his net worth to be a healthy $45 million. It took time to reach that amount. It's the culmination of decades of commitment to films, music, and even a few unanticipated commercial ventures. The bulk of Dwight's fortune is derived from his musical endeavors. Since his rise to fame in the 1980s, he has sold over 30 million copies of his double platinum and triple platinum albums, including guitars, Cadillacs, and others. In addition to the steady royalties he receives each time his songs are streamed, those recordings have brought him a sizable fortune, featured in television series and films, or played on the radio. Another major source of revenue has been travel. According to reports, Yoakam makes anything from $150,000 to $300,000 for each live performance, depending on the venue and location. Despite some obstacles brought on by recent health problems, those numbers show how much his live performances are worth. However, Dwight is an actor in addition to being a musician. He has starred in popular films like Wedding Crashers, Panic Room, and Sling Blade. Additionally, the advance money, residuals, and licensing deals from those performing gigs have helped him amass a fortune. Additionally, his name's recognition in Hollywood tends to improve his public image and open up new options. It's interesting to note that Dwight also entered the food business. He launched his own brand, Bakersfield Biscuits, which later expanded to include chicken fingers, burgers, and other items. Walmart and other big box shops purchased the business, adding it to their revenue streams. In addition, he has made several real estate investments. In 1989, he paid about $550,000 for a mansion in Malibu, which he eventually sold for $825,000. However, he used the money to finance his film, South of Heaven, West of Hell. This turned out to be a financial loss. Dwight has maintained a stable financial situation despite fluctuations. Talent, perseverance, and a little economic acumen can go a long way, as demonstrated by Yoakam's steady income from award wins, licensing payments, and a devoted fan following that keeps streaming his songs. Dwight's distinctive look. Dwight Yoakam is nearly as well known for his appearance as for his voice. Imagine a perfectly formed Stetson hat that he has worn for decades, gaudy cowboy boots, and ultra-tight Levi's bootcut jeans. GQ claims that he still effortlessly sports a distinctive banker's collar shirt and trucker cap combination, as well as the bootcut Levi's from the 1980s. Even on award shows, people take note of his uniqueness. Opinion is divided by his rock meets Western swagger. His approach has been lovingly derided by some critics as being over-the-top or theatrical. It's almost like he's acting every time he takes the stage. Others love it, calling it unvarnished, rebellious, and true to his Bakersfield roots. Empowerment of the image. He intentionally blends unrepentant swagger with vintage cowboy appeal. Custom clothing is one of the keys of his style. For around 15 years, he worked with renowned tailor Manuel Cuevas, who made his hillbilly luxury ensemble a reality, featuring fitting vintage-style shapes and sexy embroidered shirts. According to Cuevas, Yoakam is well aware of his desires. People on places like Reddit talk about such skinny trousers and boots paired with a dash of modern flair and vintage 1950s bolero jackets. Dwight has slim legs and boots that suit him well, so what works for him might not work for everyone, someone said. Yoakam's legal problems. Despite Dwight Yoakam's success in music and film, there has been some turbulence behind the scenes, especially when it comes to money, business deals, and creative partnerships. Pete Anderson, Dwight's longtime guitarist, producer, and band leader, was one of his most frequent partners for many years. Pete helped Dwight reach the pinnacles of his early career and played a significant role in shaping his unique sound. But when Anderson filed a lawsuit against Dwight in 2004, things took a dramatic turn. He claimed that by postponing a number of 2002 concert dates, Dwight had broken an oral agreement. Anderson claimed that as a result, he lost more than $44,000 in revenue. The case was based on Dwight's financial troubles after his self-directed movie, South of Heaven, West of Hell, failed commercially. Despite the fact that the two men eventually reached an out-of-court settlement, their relationship was permanently ruined. In a 2011 interview, Pete Anderson said that Dwight no longer wanted him around, and that despite his continued admiration for Dwight's talent, they would not be working together again. This split marked the end of an era. Many of their fans were shocked and disappointed by the Dwight-Pete team's breakup, as they were one of the most well-known artist-producer partnerships in modern country music. However, Dwight's legal troubles didn't end there. He got into another argument in 2021, this time with Warner Music, the label that had previously helped him advance in his career. The issue is that Dwight's tracks were abruptly taken down from streaming services. Dwight disagreed with Warner, who blamed it on a contract that had ended. He believed that the label was keeping him from reclaiming his music rights. He filed a lawsuit against the label, alleging that he was being unfairly denied control over the songs he had produced. Fortunately, it didn't last long. After the two sides reached an agreement in February 2022, Dwight's music was put back on streaming services so that fans may once more take in his whole discography. These conflicts were frustrating, but they also demonstrated how fiercely Dwight protects his craft, even if it means facing off against longtime allies or powerful companies. In the end, he has defended artistic freedom with the same fervor as his songs. His acting choices have been criticized. Everyone was taken aback when Dwight Yoakam played Doyle Hargraves in the 1996 film Sling Blade. Both critics and viewers praised his gritty portrayal of the violent and sadistic boyfriend, which he played with a combination of terror and villainy that made him enduringly memorable. Yoakam took a stab at writing, directing, and performing in the western South of Paradise, West of Hell, in 2000. Everyone criticized the movie. It was criticized by critics for having a weak plot, a slow pacing, and a lackluster production. Robert Kohler of Variety was particularly scathing when he said that the movie lacked the essential components of economy, rhythm, structure, and a steady tone, and frequently appeared aimless, with sequences that seemed to go nowhere. It has a pitiful 14% critic approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Not holding anything back either, Film Threat compared the experience to eating a crap sandwich. Yoakam himself was consumed by the difficulty of the process. His reputation was somewhat damaged as a result of the creative risk of self-funding the film, which led to contentious crew disputes and unpaid debts. One of the high points of Yoakam's acting career is still his performance in Sling Blade.